The great does. How you doing? It's Mr. Berglund here. All right, so we are going to do so you've just been working on answering some of these practice essays, and now I just want to pop back in, say hello, and kind of discuss the questions and kind of what I would have been looking for had this been a test. So the first question is, what is a meteorologist? List 3 tools that a meteorologist would use, and be sure to explain their name and how they are used. So, meteorologist, as we know, is a scientist who studies the weather. Right? They study the ground. According to my calculations, the wind is moving in a southwest direction at approximately 14 degrees 14 miles per hour, with a humidity of about 12%. Okay, meteorologist studies the weather. 3 tools that a meteorologist would use. So I'm going to show you a picture. The first one is a thermometer. We are all familiar with thermometers. A thermometer is a tool that measures how hot or cool the air is, the temperature of the air in a given area. Okay, next we have a rain gauge. A rain gauge is a tool, again, meteorologists, scientists who studies the weather. The rain gauge is a tool that measures the amount of precipitation. Usually it's rain, but remember there are different types of precipitation. So a rain gauge measures the amount of precipitation that has fallen in an area in a given amount of time. So let's say you want to say how much rain fell from when I went to sleep, maybe that's 10:30 at night, to when I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. So you put the rain gauge out in your lawn, wherever it was uncovered, and when you woke up that given amount of time, you could see how much precipitation fell. In this instance, the precipitation was in the form of rain. Another tool that meteorologists use is an anemometer. An anemometer is a tool that measures how fast the wind is moving. It measures the wind speed. Okay? And another tool is a wind vane. You guys use this. You guys used one where you put the straw with the little orange triangle there. Right? And a wind vane lets you know the direction that the wind is blowing in. Okay. That's question 1. Question 2, what is the difference between evaporation and condensation? Be sure to explain what evaporation and condensation are. Please give examples of where you could find evaporation and condensation. So again, first off, you have your water and climate book. All of this information is in here. So if you need something to review and you don't have it in your science notebook, come into your water and climate book, because you will find the answer. And it will even tell you on the page. Evaporation is liquid being heated up by the sun's energy, by the warm temperature, and the liquid turning into a gas, and is a gas in the form of water vapor. So evaporation is water heating up, going into the Earth's atmosphere as a gas in this form of water vapor. Then it even tells you what condensation is a few pages later. Condensation is kind of the reverse of evaporation. Condensation is water vapor or a gas turning back into a liquid. So condensation happens because gas or air or water vapor is at a certain temperature, because temperature is the measure of the air, right? So the air or the water vapor, remember, water vapor is all around us. The water vapor is at a certain temperature. When it comes into contact with a cooler surface, it condenses, it becomes heavier, and turns back into a liquid. So evaporation is water turning into water vapor or a gas. Condensation is a gas, water vapor, condensing once it comes into contact with a cooler surface and turning back into a liquid. Now, where might you see condensation take place? Oh my gosh, it tells you in your book too. You could see it, when you're taking a nice hot shower and you're singing that, taking a shower, right? When you come out, you see your mirror is all wet and dripping, right? Condensation, the warm air is coming into contact with the cooler mirror surface, condensation. When you're out, when you see a little fog around, there's a little spooky, condensation. When you wake up in the morning, you go walk in the grass and your shoes are wet. Like, why is it wet? It didn't rain. You know why? Condensation. You're welcome. Okay? How does the surface area of an object affect how fast or slow liquid evaporates? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at these 2 containers. One is wider. It means it has a larger surface area. This one, it is a greater surface area, but which one do you think would have the most amount of liquid evaporate first? This one, because it has a larger surface area. So the larger the surface area, the more water is exposed to the air, which means the air will blow and cause it to evaporate. The warmer temperature, the warmer air will come into contact with more of the water in the larger surface area object, which means that the water will evaporate faster in a container that has a larger surface area. Question number 4, how is the weather used to describe the climate of a region? Name 3 different climate types, regions, and the type of weather you would expect to find there. So we kind of have to understand what weather is first off, right? Because there is a difference between weather and climate, and we really need to understand that. So weather is the condition of air at a given time in a certain location, all right? So you could have weather here in Pasadena, but then you go over to Arcadia, you have a different weather, right? The weather is the measure of the air temperature in a given location. So weather can change from location to location. Climate is the typical weather conditions related to a specific region, right? So we have different types of climate regions. We have deserts, we have temperate regions, we have polar regions, we have subarctic regions, we have tropical. So the climate basically describes the weather that they typically have during that specific time of year. So pretty much climate is based on the weather data that has been collected over about 20 to 30 years. They measure the weather, they input and document the weather each day, and then based on that 20 to 30 year span, they can see, oh, this is what the typical climate is going to be. So climate is what you can expect to experience in a certain region, but the weather is what you actually get. Hope that made sense. All right, but those are the answers to kind of explanations to the 4 questions that you had to answer. Good luck studying and reviewing for your test, 3rd graders. I believe in you. I know you can do it.